Is a movie about an invisible raptor the stupidest or funniest movie of the year? Yes, let's talk about it now. Hey everyone, it's David Stark from Watch Your Pass, and I'm here to talk about The Invisible Raptor, which is coming to theaters and digital on December 6, 2024. It is a campy horror comedy about some unlikely heroes trying to track an invisible raptor. It sounds dumb, it is dumb, but it's also very entertaining. My hot take is I think you should watch it. It was just a ridiculous horror comedy with a clever premise, plenty of laughs, Easter eggs, and a healthy serving of camp. I actually really enjoyed this. I thought it was going to be terrible. Full disclosure, I thought this was going to be an awful movie. But it was a lot of fun. You could tell everyone's having a good time, and it just leans into the like ridiculous aspects of this movie and makes it very, very fun. So, all that being said, I'm going to tell you a little about the film, a few things I like, a few things I didn't like, and then really quickly go into a recap. So, as you can imagine, there'll be spoilers in the recap section. If you don't know what happens in this movie, you might not. There are some surprises, not a ton, but there are some surprises. I would turn it off when I get to the recap. Before that, though, I'll keep it vague. I'll keep it spoiler free. I'll let you know when I get to those spoilers. So, in The Invisible Raptor, you have a top secret experiment, a raptor that was made that is invisible. Why is it invisible? Who knows? I assume it's invisible because this is an indie film, low budget. It's tough to get a raptor. It's tough to get the effects for a raptor, so they just made it invisible. But there is a story reason for it being invisible as well. It escapes, and now some unlikely heroes have to try to track it down to save the town and themselves. So, things I liked about this movie. The first, I like the cast. It's a fun cast. Like everyone plays very ridiculous roles. Like I said, it's a B movie. It kind of really leans into the camp. Every character is like way out there, but everyone does a really good job. Everyone kind of leans into it. So you have this menagerie of very ridiculous and different characters, and they're all like fun to see. Second thing I love, kind of related, I love the camp. I mean, it is definitely a film that does not take itself too seriously. You kind of can't if the movie's called Invisible Raptor about an invisible raptor that is terrorizing a small town. And the film really leans into, I mean, sometimes you can have some films that are like campy, which just means like low budget and kind of bad jokes. This one is actually very fun. Like it definitely takes itself, it definitely kind of like has the right sense of humor and has the right kind of amount of seriousness to really make it an entertaining film. The third thing I love it's funny. It's just really funny. Like some of the lines are very random. Some of the situations are very random. There's a lot of really ridiculous situations that come up that will make you chuckle, which is important because this film is definitely a comedy first, horror movie second. The third thing I love, or the fourth thing I love, it has some decent effects. I mean, surprisingly, given that they didn't want to do a like Raptor, but the effects are actually pretty decent. There is some gore, there is some other bodily fluid effects in here, and it looks pretty good. There is obviously some CG, but it's not very distracting. So overall, I really enjoyed the effects. I thought they were like a smart use for an indie film. And the last thing I love the Easter eggs. There's a ton of like movie reference Easter eggs. Like you can tell the people who made this film loved movies. There are all sorts of like throwbacks, situations, things like that from classic movies. So if you like old movies, especially like, I don't know, Jurassic Park, since this is kind of like a Jurassic Park riff, then you are going to really enjoy it. There's little things here and there. There's lines, there's tactics, there is some music that is very reminiscent of the Jurassic Park soundtrack, probably close enough to be reminiscent, but not too close to get sued. All of that is here. It is all very fun. So, all that being said, things I didn't love as much, really one minor thing, it's a little bit long. It feels like the story goes on a little bit too much. I feel like they could have cut just a little bit out of it and it would still be enjoyable. I still enjoyed it. Like I didn't mind that it was long. It just did feel a little bit long. So I thought that there was some stuff in the middle that they could have just kind of like chipped away at. But overall, I really enjoyed this film. Surprisingly, I really enjoyed this film. I thought this was going to be terrible. I thought this was going to be a dumb movie, and it is a dumb movie, but it is a very fun, enjoyable, dumb movie. So definitely check out The Invisible Raptor when it comes to theaters or digital on December 6, 2024. And I'm going to really quickly go into a recap right now. So if you don't know what happened in this movie, I would turn it off now because there will be spoilers. So the movie starts with the Invisible Raptor. It is in this like pen being watched over by a couple scientists. One of those is played by Sean Astin. He has a very brief role. I was a little sad because he's on the poster. You're like, okay, Sean Astin's gonna be in this. He's in it for 5 minutes or so, but he is one of the scientists. This raptor is apparently very smart. It's invisible, so you can't really see what it's doing. But eventually, as these scientists are messing with it, it gets the keys, escapes, and then kills Sean Astin's character, takes his eye to escape. But before that, it does like a Weekend at Bernie's thing where it's like using the corpse because it's invisible, it can manipulate the corpse to like pretend like it's still there to make sure the other scientist doesn't get wise to it. But the raptor uses Sean Astin's eye, escapes from this pen, and is now free to roam. Now, over at Dino World, which is a dinosaur theme park, you got two people. You've got Grant and Denny. Grant is a paleontologist. He made a big discovery years ago. He discovered the world's most intact raptor butthole. There's a lot of like butt and feces references in this. It just leans into it. Don't worry about it. And but his partner, I guess, stole the glory from him, and so now he is kind of down on his luck working at a dinosaur theme park. His coworker Denny, he's the head of security. He's kind of a mess up, but he has a good heart. He is helping out with the raptor display. He dresses up as the stuffed raptor and like does a dance to try to encourage people to go to the gift store. Now, Grant obviously is not happy with this situation, but he's doing what he has to do. And during his day at work, he meets this girl, Amber, this person that seems to have some history with him. It seems like they were a thing a little bit ago. They used to date 10 years ago, and they kind of reconnect, although Grant is a little bit embarrassed with his situation, but they do reconnect. He gets her number, and it seems like maybe there will be something there. Now, the Raptor is drawn to Dino World, I guess, but decides to follow this one kid, Elliot, home. And so the kid goes home, the raptor goes in there. Elliot is outside playing. He senses that there's a raptor there. He kind of like leads it in with some food. He doesn't know what it is. He thinks it's like an imaginary friend. Unfortunately, not friend. It's friend shaped, but it's not friend. And it decides to eat him. Now, you don't see that. All you see is the next day when there's a new story about this kid disappearing, and all that was left was this giant pile of feces. So Grant sees this news story. He has studied raptors. He has studied raptor feces because he's discovered that butthole. So he has discovered raptor feces, and he recognizes that this poop is from a raptor, which is insane because they're extinct. But he recognizes it, and so they go to check it out. He and Denny go to check it out. They first call the police. The police don't want anything to do with them. But there is a funny Easter egg in here. I think there is. It looks like a Rufio from Hook is getting taken into custody, and as he's getting taken into custody, he yells, "I ain't never gonna grow up." So little things like that are throughout this movie, and if you kind of pay attention, there's a lot of really funny references here. Now, Grant and Denny go to check on Elliot's remains. They get there, they pretend to be agents, and Grant realizes that this is raptor feces. He finds something of Elliot's in there, but then Denny finds his dog's collar. He'd been looking for his dog ever since it disappeared from Dino World. He finds the dog collar here. He gets upset. He attacks the feces. Grant tries to stop him. He's like, "This is our only evidence. This is our only evidence." But the deed is done. Again, Denny is lovable, a little bit of a mess up. But after this, they leave to try to keep tracking the raptor. Now, the raptor is moving through the town. It next attacks Amber. Amber is taking a bath. Her kid is in the house too. The raptor comes up like, I don't know, Invisible Man style, like on the shower curtain. So she sees it, even though she can't see it. She sees the outline. She screams, fights it off. She goes and gets her daughter. They're able to escape. And now, as Amber is cowering with her kid, Grant and Denny show up. They are able to fight the raptor off. Grant gets injured a little bit, but the raptor runs away, and they're able to save Amber and her kid. And Amber now believes Grant. Before, when he called to be like, "Be careful, there's a raptor on the loose," she's like, "You're insane." And I mean, rightfully so, obviously. But now she believes him, and they decide to team up. They send the daughter away, and they decide to all team up to hunt this raptor down. So after this attack at Amber's, they find someone in like special forces kind of gear watching them. It turns out this is someone from Tyler Corp, the corporation that made the raptor. He is trying to track it. He doesn't want anyone to know because how can they know the raptor escaped? It's invisible. And he like weekend at Bernie Sean Astin's body to make it so that no one interrupted them. But he's trying to get the raptor back so he doesn't get in trouble. But they do find out some more. They find out that Tyler Corp created this basically from the Jurassic Park method, and that the raptor's name is, I think, Chance the Raptor. And Tyler is the Tyler Corp, the corporation that created it, Tyler the creator. So again, funny little like random references in here. They do see the raptor. The raptor attacks the scientist from Tyler Corp, kills him, but they're able to shoot the raptor with an arrow that has a balloon on it. So they can kind of track it. The raptor goes to a house party, demolishes the house party, kills a ton of people, but Denny, Grant, and Amber are able to get there, and they are able to trank the raptor. It goes down. They have a scene like in Jurassic Park where Grant, who has been studying raptors his entire life, gets on it and like listens to it breathe, and he has to like act it out obviously because it's invisible. It's funny. Amber gets there too. They must have really great core because they both like kind of do this, this They both kind of like do the laying on breathing thing with it. But I don't know why they don't paint it. Like the raptor is tranked. They should paint it or something to make it be seen. They don't do that. They try to get it back to Tyler Corp so they can keep studying it. Then he wants to kill it, but they're like, no, this is a unique raptor. And he gives in, even though he shouldn't, even though he probably should have killed it because it has already killed tons of people. But they put it on Denny's car and try to get it back to Tyler Corp. Now, as they're driving back to put the raptor in its cage, Denny drives by his bully, someone who's been bullying him since he was a kid, and he decides to confront him. He says, look, I saved the town. I saved the town for this invisible raptor, and these are my best friends. And he basically kind of like taunts the bully. Unfortunately, the raptor decides to wake up at this point, goes and kills the bully, and then goes on a rampage after. Grant is upset with Denny. Denny's like, oh, but we're friends. And Grant's like, you're an idiot. Like, I don't want to be friends with you. I don't care. And kind of kicks Denny out of his life. Now, it was a little bit harsh, but Denny did, basically endanger the entire town in order to kind of like get a one up on his bully. Now, Denny goes back to his house. He is upset. And Grant and Amber talk some more. And Amber basically says, like, you gotta forgive Denny. They need him. And also, Denny had a good heart. He just kind of made a mistake. So they make up after this and all come up with a plan. They're going to lure the raptor to the chicken coop because raptors are essentially birds. Chickens are also birds. So they're going to try to lure the raptor to the chicken coop. They think the raptor is going to be so distracted by trying to mate with all the chickens that they're able to destroy it. So they enlist the help of Henrietta, who owns the chicken coop. It's a chicken, farm essentially. She sells eggs. She is a rough character, but together they now have a crew. They dress Denny up in his raptor outfit. So they put some pheromones on him, essentially raptor pee. They drive this truck. Unfortunately, the truck can't go faster than the raptor, so it is a tense scene as the raptor tries to get to Denny, is being lured to the chicken coop. Eventually, at the chicken coop, the raptor isn't kind of distracted by all the chickens, but Henrietta dresses up in a chicken costume and decides to tempt the raptor. She's able to tempt the raptor. The raptor goes and tries to start mating with her, and they are able to shoot the raptor with an exploding arrow, just like out of Rambo 2. So they kill the raptor. Everything's okay. They all escape. They all escape unscathed, although I guess Henrietta was a little bit scathed, but I think she enjoyed it. So they're all okay now. Afterwards, we do get a little bit of an update. Denny is with his bully's wife. After his bully was killed, Denny took over. He married the person he had a crush on in high school, took over his life, took over for his kids. Denny is doing great. Amber and Grant are doing well too. Everyone is happy and the raptor is dead. So, oh, and during the credits, there are some additional scenes. At the start of the credits, we see the chicken coop and it scrolls past the chicken coop and we see some raptor eggs and they start to hatch and they just kind of like break open. You don't see what's inside because it's an invisible raptor. It looks like there are now more raptors running around. You will see what happens next. Also, during the credits, we see an updated scene. We see Amber's kid. They threw her in an Uber when they went to go like save the world. I don't know where the Uber was going, but apparently neither is a kid because they're driving. The kid looks at the Uber driver and says, "Where are we going?" And then it scrolls up. You see that they are leaving Spielberg County and going towards some sort of like large mountain with like helicopters all around it. Seems like she's going into danger. And then also at the very end, there is a stinger. We see 2 weeks later, Sean Astin's character wakes up somehow. He has sunglasses on, so you can't see if he doesn't have an eye. He should be missing one eye. He like wakes up, like kind of disoriented, grabs his inhaler because he was always, worried about his inhaler, goes to take a puff of it, and then says like, and throws it away. So those are the scenes. I would stay to see them. I mean, it's fun to see Sean Astin again. It's fun to see what happened to the daughter, and also the little stinger with the dinosaur eggs is really fun too. So definitely stay for the credits. That is the Invisible Raptor. Like I said, it's silly, it's ridiculous, it's campy, but it's a lot of fun. I enjoyed it a lot more than I expected to, a way lot more than I expected to. I actually really enjoyed this film, so I definitely think you should check it out when it comes to theaters and digital on December 6th, 2024. And thanks so much for watching. If you like this review, please like and subscribe to this channel. It helps me a lot. Make sure all my new content goes straight to you. Thank you.